I think we're alive. Live and alive. Welcome back to Corsace Closed 2024. It's the second game of the whole tournament, the round of 16. And it's going to be FlyingTuna Seed 5 against the Norwegian ninerik Seed 12. I mean, every match in the tournament is titanic. That's what makes this so special. And it's a pleasure to be casting this one with Sad Sheba, who's enjoying his lunch at the moment.
I'm eating Doritos, Doomsday.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love Dorito. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Corsace Closed. We're back on it, man. You and I running it back again on the Closed. Biggest 1v1 tournament of the year. The most prestigious. Invitational for only the best of the best. And a matchup like FlyingTuna and ninerik are one of those very exciting matchups here. FlyingTuna, South Korean legend in the tournament scene. Great on tech, great on control, very well-rounded as well. An all-star player for South Korea in multiple OWCs throughout the year. And ninerik, I feel like throughout tournaments has always been really frustratingly underrated in tournaments all the time. Like he proved himself pretty hard in COE tournament. He proved himself pretty hard in Closed last year, and this year I expect the same. Despite single-handedly and I think undisputedly being the best and most consistent speed player in all of tournaments at the moment, he still is very flexible on things like aim, on things like precision and hard rock. I'm looking forward to seeing what ninerik will be able to make the most of on this match, because I think Tuna definitely is going to have a bit of a bigger run for his money than I think people are guessing. Because despite Tuna being so well-rounded and so strong on so many things, I think ninerik definitely has made a lot of improvements last year and this year incoming. So I'm looking forward to this. And we're already getting into the map, Doomsday. Hard rock 3 picked it for ninerik.
Spicy first pick, actually, from ninerik. I think you mentioned it. I mean, everyone talks about ninerik being the speed guy, and I mean, no doubt his speed is ridiculous, but he is very well-rounded. And the map pool is really hard with the caliber of players we've got. There's not going to be that much in it between the top and the low seeds. You saw it in the last match. It was pretty close in terms of each map score. This one's even closer on the seeding, so this one should be even more explosive. But picking the Hard Rock 3 first pick into FlyingTuna is brave, in my opinion. Bit of a contested one.
I mean, I think
first pick is going to FlyingTuna, actually.
I think, yeah, FlyingTuna, I think, understandably dropping the first break. I think Hard Rock's one of those small things that Tuna, despite not being known to be weak on, is not necessarily known to be strong with either. I think ninerik as well, very comfortable on the high CS, on the higher CS, able to adapt a lot faster because he is. At the end of the day, man, playstyles can really define some of your skill sets. And I think being a mouse player makes Hard Rock and general higher CS precision a lot more comfortable for someone like ninerik. Because in essence, you're holding one big rock, you know, when you're playing on mouse. So you're able to adapt a little bit quicker to higher CS like that. But with that drop from Tuna, traded not too far back there from ninerik, Tuna has that combo advantage by just a little bit. So he's going to be able to build just a little bit further as we get into the final third of the map here. ninerik still has a little bit of an advantage, but it is slowly starting to close in. As we start to build into that next final third of the map here, as the diff spike starts to increase just a little bit, we are expecting to maybe see one of these players break. And be it FlyingTuna, it's going to be a good map for ninerik. But this being his opening pick does not have good signs at the moment. It's a little bit scary as Tuna is still starting to hold on and close in that gap from ninerik. And we're getting close to the final quarter here. Neither player have broken. Accuracy in favor of ninerik as well, so that slow burn's going to start impacting Tuna. And as we start to get into this peak here, difficulty starts to ramp up. The slider aim really starts to hit. Both of these players are very capable of hitting this entire thing, but down goes Tuna first and foremost. And ninerik still managing to hold. And as that advantage closing in no longer. Advantage now back in ninerik as he finally drops towards the end. I think that might just be too late unless there's any major drops here from either player, unless there's a chain miss and or just a massive pop-up towards the ending. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think ninerik might just take this. 40,000 score still remains in his favor solidly as well. Small combo advantage for FlyingTuna, but really not by much. Only about nearly 100 combo. But as ninerik drops there, is there enough time?
There's like no time left, surely, for 30k. It's going to be really close, though.
He's still only on. He's still going. No, wait, is he going to make it?
No way.
He might just do it. 10,000. No. Oh my god. Well, that's a close start.
There was no shot, dude, that was going to steal that at the end. It actually got less than 10k in the end. That had no right to make it that close, FlyingTuna, but in the end, actually a really good pick. I say, I think you had it. You knocked the nail on the head there, Shiba. Hard Rock into FlyingTuna seems to be a good shout, and ninerik looked stronger, particularly up until that very end. It was looking pretty comfortable for him there, so very good first pick there.
Yeah, thankfully for ninerik, he does get the first pick on the board. I do feel like there might have been more definitive options here for him to go for. I'm a little bit surprised for him to instantly go into that Hard Rock 3. Yes, you do still have a second pick on your side to go into that ban, but you have the DT2 and you have the normal 2 still available. FlyingTuna get a Ring of Darkish does set an obvious precedent for what he's afraid of from ninerik. I think one misconception with Tuna is that ninerik is still potentially able to lose on those raw speed heavy maps, which makes No Mod 5 a little bit less of a dangerous thing for Tuna to maybe allow to go through. You're more looking at those stamina heavy maps that Tuna really struggles on, and that's why you see Darkish getting banned instead of the No Mod 5. You still have the No Mod 2 open, you still have the No Mod 5, and you still have the DT2. Not DT2, sorry, DT2's banned, but those 2 maps are still open. So to see ninerik not instantly go into those maps that are definitely in his more comfortable area does make me surprised. I still think Hard Rock 3 would have been a good pick later on, but yeah, surprised to not see that go. But Ryu Seigun for FlyingTuna on the No Mod 4 is, I think the least surprising pick we could have seen from him.
Yeah, FlyingTuna tech, man. Yep. Sounds about right. He's going into his strong picks first of all. And this one should be a good one for him. It's a very long tech map, and it's got all the tech trimmings as well, so you've got to be consistent on this to really make use of it. And you can see FlyingTuna really going to town on something like this. ninerik is capable as well, but certainly going to be not so favored against FlyingTuna in this particular matchup.
Yeah, this Ryu Seigun map is, first of all, absolute banger. Love this song. No questions asked. But Ryu Seigun is a recently very popular map that's been pulled in recent tournaments after people kind of discovering how well versed it is in its tech skill sets, and still so capable for players to really pop off on it. It's one of those maps that clearly has a comfort ceiling, but not one of those maps that only the true best of the best can perform on. We saw that with Forum and a Secret Box last time, and so far in this little intro section, nobody dropping just yet, but this little intro bit still very difficult. You see those hits of control, and you see those really weird and scary sliders that may not be too fast to track, but if you're not prepared for them, will definitely trip you up. Unfortunately for ninerik in this little intro section, is not looking too good for him. FlyingTuna still soaring ahead with flying colors, 99 AC as well.
A couple drops here for ninerik at the start. He's not going too far off. Holding 97 is decent. But it's going to need a bit more than that against FlyingTuna. He finally gets the break, but the accuracy lead is going to be giving him a lot of score over ninerik at the moment. Not too much in it, though, in the opening flurries, but there's so much more to go. So much more time for maybe FlyingTuna to find that comfort later on. See how it works out.
Yeah, as this being his opening pick, it's safe to say this is probably one of his most guaranteed maps that he wants to lead on outside of Sudopatan, which was banned. So, yeah, definitely something in his comfort playing. I feel like one of the strengths that FlyingTuna is far and away the most famous for is his tech and particularly control. And this map definitely emphasizes that. You've got loads of these really strange streamy burst patterns with sliders that, again, like I said, aren't impossible for anybody, but really do require that control and understanding of slider aim to really perfect. And you'll definitely be seeing that later on as we go past the second key of this map, where it really starts to peak, where we get a ridiculous space stream into the single most difficult slider aim section of the map. But so far, it's so comfortable here for FlyingTuna, 50, 60k and climbing now, 500 combo up despite that drop, really unfazed here. ninerik is still struggling here. Accuracy still remains the same, so no tragic sign of discomfort, but it's safe to say those small little nuances of the map is really leading him to struggle. And as we go into this really difficult section, Tuna goes down, but ninerik still holds. Oh god.
It's not unassailable. It's not unassailable. ninerik's been doing okay. He's got to get a pretty major combo going.
He's got to hit these really giant sliders. These are some really big sliders here, and if you're not ready for them, ninerik almost breaking on them, and he goes down just afterwards. This section is ridiculously difficult, and it has led to another drop there from ninerik. Tuna able to recover and still holding on despite dropping that accuracy. He may not FC the entire thing, but the lead still remains in his favor.
You know what? They get bonus points for not just cheesing every one of those long sliders. They really tried to follow those and hit a lot of them. Fair play to them. At the moment, though, yeah, FlyingTuna still in the driver's seat, very much so, but score's not massive. That slider break from ninerik, though, is really going to sting for his chances in this final drop.
Yeah, that's a really tough one. As we go into the final quarter of the map, Tuna's advantage just continues to shine and continues to just spread away, further away from ninerik's reach. Understandably so, honestly, this is something that FlyingTuna is way more comfortable on, but ninerik did have some good signs of a fight in him, but sadly, this is Tuna's map. As we get into the final quarter, I mean, ninerik knows the situation that he's in right now. Nearly 100,000 score separating him, and as we get into the final third with a combo advantage so deep to a 500 to 200 ratio, it's safe to say whether or not Tuna breaks really does not matter. This is his map, and he will take this pick for sure.
Unless he completely just drops the bollock on this final set of patterns, which you can't really see. Yeah, it's surely got to be his. There's the break from ninerik, and that's signed, sealed, and delivered. A decent attempt by him, though, on a very strong pick for Tuna. But Tuna going to do Tuna things on these tech maps, man. That's 99% nearly he's rocking.
Good lord. Yeah, that's impressive. Very, very impressive stuff here from Tuna. Consistent understanding of this map, consistent control. And that's how you know he's one of the best in the game. He may have not set some ridiculous combos like some people may have expected, but it's safe to say that the guy knows what he's doing. And he made the right choice on this pick, absolutely. Destruction on this map. Nearly 250k. Oh, no, wait, 184k? Oh, okay. It looked a lot more one-sided than that. But yeah, 184k still very, very good.
Yeah, still pretty comfortable, though. Dude, slider maps, though, it's a double one miss, but there's a few sliders here and there for both players. But the main points there, 99% and nearly a 1,000 combo from Tuna. That's the story.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's time for the second pick now. ninerik has those two very obvious options of either the normal 5 or the normal 2. I'm suspecting he goes for the normal 2 here, as that one relies a little bit more on that stamina. I'm suspecting that to be it, but maybe he's a little bit afraid of FlyingTuna's ability on it. No, it's Crescent Moon. Okay.
DT
now
what?
this is surprising for me, because yes, I know ninerik is able to pick this, but when you have a ban face coming through, you really want to let both of your Tavern Mechanics maps go through still? Am I the only one who should be surprised by this Doomsday?
Well, I mean, it does leave open the no mod 5 ban for the second round, right? I'm a bit surprised ninerik's not leaving that open. But I suppose FlyingTuna is capable on that speed. Maybe he doesn't trust it on, 240 something tapping. It might be quite even. But yeah, I'm surprised he's not just going into that here and making use of it while he has the chance. DT1, I think for him is still a decent shot, but it's very contested. Just the raw double time aim sort of picks. A proper toss-up in this matchup, so, well, we'll see if it works out like that Hard Rock 3 did.
Yeah, this DT1, sorry, still very capable for ninerik. And this being AR 10.4, you need that high-speed comfort, and I think Tuna is definitely capable. He's definitely improved a lot of his mechanics after coming back from military service. I think that was one of the things that he was really trying to iron out in this year after coming back. And he has made a good improvement. And I think that was one of the things that I was really thinking about with Tuna, is that, yeah, ninerik is one of the best speed players in the world, but in terms of raw speed, Tuna, especially this early on into the tournament, is able to compete at that level. But with this DT1 coming through, I think this is a comfort side from both of these players. This 10.4 definitely not too fast for these guys, and the finger control in this is definitely more on the comfy side. These patterns really aren't out of nowhere. They're really easy to follow and pretty easy to track. If you are able to read at this 10.4 rate, honestly, this map is pretty sight readable for both of these players. Keep in mind, these are the best players in the world, people. Like, these aren't just any normal tournament double time players. These are the best in the world. And so far, so good. Both of these players struggling kind of at an equal rate. ninerik holding on to a small advantage. But in terms of the combo, yeah.
The ACK is helping out ninerik quite a bit. I think in combo, though, it's quite even, which is going to make it a bit scary, considering this was ninerik's pick. But the Ack could be saving the day. 2% is a lot of score on score V2 if you can keep hold of that.
Yeah, absolutely. This small combo lead that Tuna has is definitely going to start becoming a threat later on. The Ack is merely just slowing it down. Both of these players need to hold on. ninerik, he drops on a slider just after the burst. And that's something that he's been caught off guard with. He's got no combo down. Tuna's able to soar ahead. It's closing in very rapidly. And as we start to approach that final quarter of the map, the break is shown. Tuna knows where he's at.
Yeah, Tuna's got ninerik in his sights now. He's going to pull the trigger, and he's just about to take the lead. And there it is. 500 combo as well into the final chorus here. And yeah, it's going to be FlyingTuna to lose on a huge breakpoint here.
It's going to be really important, yeah.
Hit the notes, man.
Any breakpoint in this pre-second ban stage is absolutely essential. And he's still holding on. As we start to approach the ending, it's starting to become insurmountable. ninerik does not have any combo to catch up, whether or not Tuna breaks. And that has to be solidified now. As we get into the final ending of the map here, Tuna absolutely excels. And in what I personally thought was a risky pick here for ninerik, ends up biting him back. And Tuna is going to get a breakpoint in the pre-ban stage.
Yeah, massive steal on the DT. Going into that DT aim, the gambit hasn't worked. It looked pretty good, though, in the first half. It looked like another masterstroke of a pick. But then FlyingTuna got that combo game going. 750 combo through the ending. Really locking in.
You can see that that peak combo really was what struck ninerik really badly here. I think he had a lot more potential to get the win on that, but I think the general consistency for him, despite getting great act, despite hitting almost all the notes, when the combo really mattered the most, the combo game was where he lost, and Tuna took massive advantage of that, especially towards the ending where he started to adjust to that really high AR, and Tuna's going to be able to capitalize on this massively. He's still got a lot of options open, Hidden 2 especially, still around for him to pick. Which I wouldn't be surprised if he lent into, but do you think there are any other maps that he could pick?
Well, I mean, anything on the control side would be pretty good for him, but with that ban phase looming, going into the Hidden 2 just makes sense. Because ninerik is almost certainly going to ban it out, right? And we know FlyingTuna is really good on the low AR aim side of things, particularly, right? But anything else, though? I mean, the Hidden 3 might be a good shout as well for FlyingTuna, possibly. Number 3, I think, is a bit of a risky one, but it is going to be the Hidden 2. Just playing it safe with that cranky Besterflung. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not German enough.
But... No, you actually said it right. Besterflung, yeah.
Oh, let's go. It's
you know it.
I understand that language.
Yeah, and I mean, what more of a better pick could you have lent into here for Tuna? This is one of his next strongest skill sets in this tournament. Very few players are able to rival him in this skill set. Still some, but not all. But not many, especially.
Not on something this hard as well. We saw it in the last match. Forum put on a show on this. And FlyingTuna can certainly be threatening his score, you'd feel, against ninerik. Well, yeah, no doubt. An uphill battle on this one for ninerik. It would have been one of his favoured bans. He's going to have to fight through it here, though.
Yeah, this is just one of those things where I'm just expecting Tuna to easily win this one. ninerik is widely known to have a weakness on something like this. Unless I am unexpectedly surprised here, I do not know ninerik for being a strong hidden player. This is something that he's so immensely uncomfortable on. Just isn't something that he likes to play. Tuna took massive advantage of this when he played against him in the Seaweed 1v1 tournament, which was, I believe, the last time these two players 1v1 against each other. And we're going to be seeing that most likely replicated again. Early drop there from Tuna, but outside of that, he's starting to recover very quickly. Maybe just a little bit of adjustment after playing that DT1. Not surprising, honestly. And ninerik just shows what we expected, unfortunately. This just simply isn't one of his strengths.
It is a relatively lengthy low AR pick this. There is time to adjust. But against FlyingTuna, you really need to be on the ball from the get-go. Some act ups from FlyingTuna as he adjusts as well. But it appears to be improving, and you'd imagine he'd get more comfortable as the map goes on. So,
yeah,
it is going to be a question of how far can FlyingTuna take this run here. Any challenge from the score from earlier, I think, is the big question.
Yeah, I don't have an MP of what Forum's score was. Do you have the MP, Doomsday? Do you know which what score he got? Because this might be exciting to compare. He is still holding on to a massive combo.
God, I think he got about 600k, I think. Off the top of my head.
Tuna nearly dropping on that little stream section, dropping quite a bit of AC, but thankfully still holding onto his combo. I mean, there's the break. Obvious is obvious. Advantage massively in favor of FlyingTuna. ninerik still struggling to scratch the 100k ceiling. Tuna just continues to soar ahead. 250k has been reached, 600 combos has been reached, and he finally goes down after the halfway mark, which does mean his score is most likely going to be massively cut in half. Whether or not he full combos this, he is probably going to be limited to around 600k, maybe 700k if he finishes off with immense accuracy, but with those further drops coming through, it's safe to say all the furthest he can reach now is 500k, from what I can see. But it doesn't really matter when you're concerning the scoreline between him and ninerik right now.
Yeah, it's just it was just an anti-ninerik pick this. So W is going to be there for him, and he's honestly 200k at the moment. If he rocks about 500k by the end of this, it's a very solid run. Forum got 550k on him.
Oh, okay.
So
still possible.
It's possible. You probably have to see the rest of the map, but it's doable, I think.
Yeah, this awkward aim really starts to emphasize in its later stages as well. You can already see it, those really spaced linear into topsy-turvy jumps here. That big aim section there, hit by Tuna as well. He's starting to climb up, but does he have enough time? We're past that final quarter now. And the difficulty peak is, I believe, has already come past, but you still have some of these really difficult sections coming through, so Tuna still has to keep his guard up. Is he going to be able to hit that 550k mark? He's at 450 now. By the end of Score v2 maps, that score really starts to increase as it finalizes, and Tuna still holds on. He might just do it. Are we going to see him outclass Forum on this map? 500k has been reached. 50k is doable. Can Tuna hold on towards the end? It's getting really close. It's getting really close. He's been popping off. No, he goes down. No. And he might just barely be missing out on that top score of the game. 540 for FlyingTuna. Unfortunate. Very close in terms of rivaling Forum. Still a very impressive score. That ending pop-off, very, very good. Nicely done for FlyingTuna. Yeah, absolutely. Nicely done. That last miss was tragic. I think could have actually outshined him if he got that. But regardless, the map does go to FlyingTuna, and it will be 3-1 in his favor. And as we get into that ban phase, I think for Tuna, it's very obvious. You've got two very easy options. Whether or not you want to lean that 220 BPM stamina or that raw, bursty 240 BPM speed is up to you. Is it 240? I think it might be higher, actually. I need to double check that quickly.
I think it's 240, the No Mod 5.
Yes, it is. It is 240, yeah.
Yeah, Rumble Kung Fu Showdown. It's 240 raw stamina. You don't want to give that to ninerik. He will completely destroy that map. There is no doubt.
From what I remember, I believe No Mod 5 is more burst heavy in the first half, and then later on, the stamina starts to really hit. So that early stage combo game would be really essential. I think that's what I would see FlyingTuna maybe being able to take advantage of, because the aim on that is still there. So I think No Mod 2 is actually more valid, but that might just be me. Some of these streams are really long and really stamina heavy, as well as being very flow aim heavy, and I feel like ninerik might actually be able to take advantage of that. Which is why I'd suspect No Mod 2 to be the pick. But, I don't know. Maybe Tuna has a lot of practice, and maybe Tuna has improved on his stamina. I know that raw speed is something that he is able to contend with, as long as it isn't too stamina demanding. But those pure stamina maps are definitely his biggest weakness in this matchup, at least. Which is why I'm assuming he's taking a little bit of a while to decide.
Okay, he's banning Hard Rock.
Hard Rock 2? Okay, fair.
Fair, yeah.
Fair, but like... You're leaving those two open? Oh my, okay.
He must be feeling alright on the stamina then. 240 odd. He has been good at it when he's warm, and he must have prepared for that. Maybe going into a game with ninerik, you'd probably know you'd have to get into that. I imagine he's prepared for it, so he's just targeting his Hard Rock weakness. That's fair. I don't mind that pick, actually, if he's warm on speed.
I mean, go for it, I guess. Hard Rock 2 is probably... ninerik's next best strength on this. I think FlyingTuna definitely taking notes from the last time these guys played. Definitely.
As for ninerik, though,
Hard Rock 3 makes sense, I think, yeah. This is super aim control heavy. Not surprised by this one.
Yeah, the flow aimy, techie hidden. Yeah, don't give FlyingTuna any more tech. That's a wise decision there from ninerik.
Yeah, this pick's valid. I'm not surprised ninerik leaning into this one. I feel like the only other option he could have potentially gone for was no mod 3, but I think that one's a little... despite still being awkward, you can still lean into those raw aim mechanics, and ninerik definitely has that. So I think he's smart to get rid of that hidden 3. And no mod 2, I think unsurprisingly being picked here. This one is a banger, and it is a sped-up version of a stream map that is quite iconic in the olden days. If you were to look at the main map's non-sped-up version leaderboards, it has a lot of old OG players setting some really high scores on this, with Hidden Hard Rock in particular. It's one of those kind of stream maps. And yeah, mapped by Eister. It is a sped-up version of the original map. So I believe it's gone up from 170 BPM to 211 BPM.
Yeah, it's sped up version of 211. I think the original map, it was kind of streamy, but it also had like really high SVs. But this one is all about the stream side of things. So thankfully, no crazy high SVs in this one. Just lots of accelerating and decelerating streams. So it's not only is it nearly 8-star mechanics, but there's quite a lot of control with some huge velocity changes you have to deal with.
Yeah. This little intro section's pretty relaxed so far. From what I remember, this map does have a little bit of a chill intro up until we get into that first ramp up into the map, where you'll start to see more of those streams and those sliders really emphasizing this. Yeah. Like you said, Doomsday, this, despite being quite heavy on that stream, quite heavy on that stamina and flow aim in particular, those sliders are still really, really scary.
Now, the question is, how is FlyingTuna's tapping doing? He must be confident on the speed. He's a brave man to leave tapping maps up against ninerik. He must have a plan. This being 211, if he's warm for the speedier stuff, he should be okay on the tapping side. Once the longer streams come out, though, I'm sure all will be revealed there.
Yeah. You can kind of see these little bursts into some of those slider jumps and bust sliders. Not tripping up either player so far. Accuracy, in fact, dead even so far. Both of these players excelling on this little early stage. Stamina. Takes a tiny hit. FlyingTuna does drop a single 100, but nothing too distressing. This is just consistently good from both of these players here. Nobody's dropping. That little Axel decel section still hit by both players. He just doesn't stop here.
There goes FlyingTuna.
Wait, Tuna dropped? I don't think he dropped. I think it might be Bancho. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Fair, valid Bancho break as these sliders can get really scary, but thankfully for FlyingTuna, not the case. Almost dropping on that space stream, but thankfully managing to just land the last note. And there's the break. Both these players know the deal. FlyingTuna, knowing that he's still holding on, knows that ninerik holds that strength and the accuracy, and the streams really start to ramp up in the spacing, but ninerik drops, and he manages to fall apart on the flow aim, and Tuna sees it! He knows he's got the advantage now, and we're going to the final third of the map. The difficulty starts to ramp up massively. The more Tuna can hold, the more that advantage will skyrocket, and we might see another breakpoint.
Yeah, it's timed well as well to make use of that multiplier. The ending is where the hardest patterns of this map lie. Chain miss can tank your score massively. ninerik is going to be hoping for something like that to put himself back into this.
Tuna looking absolutely incredible. I did not expect this level of consistency from this guy with his accuracy included. He's doing God's work on this map, and he's still looking good. The space streams really start to amplify with these sliders. This map is terrifying towards this final quarter, and you can see it emphasizing this. ninerik trying so desperately to bring a recovery good enough to take it back, but Tuna refuses to let this go. 1500 combo and climbing. The accuracy starts to drop, but the combo still stands, and he's hitting everything right now. This is absurd. He's still going. He just misses on the last note of the stream. And with that, it's still solidified, though. Exactly 300,000 score. And as we get into the final death stream of the map, There's nothing that ninerik can do. One of his most advantaged maps slaughtered away, I think unexpectedly from most of these players, from most of the people watching. People saw this as a map for ninerik, but FlyingTuna excels and definitely upset a few people's expectations. 800,000 score with a very good act to finish it off. Phenomenal score from FlyingTuna.
Yeah, FlyingTuna, he's came here to tap. He's got his tapping ready, and he's ready to go against the tapping meister himself. And that bodes well for those speed picks left open. They're a lot more speed focused, but he didn't have any problems with the stamina, and his aim is on point today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am not looking at that act.
Nicely done though from Tuna. Very impressive. You know, I thought this map was one of his biggest weaknesses, but hey, look, Tuna amazingly proven me wrong. Love to see it. That's a brilliant breakpoint. This is one of the maps that I think ninerik was assumed to easily win, but nah, not Tuna.
2 big breakpoints on that double time 1 aim pick and on the No Mod 2 stream pick. Yeah, FlyingTuna is, well, he's flying at the moment. He's
absolutely.
The aces.
FlyingTuna with flying colors. And all of the lights' next picks. I think this is one of the maps that we both thought that would be one of Tuna's next picks. And yeah, unsurprisingly, he's lent into it now. All of the lights. Mapped by Xarius. This is from what I remember, a pretty old map. But I might be wrong. This has a really strange, unique style.
I think this is actually like one of the more modern Xarius maps. I think this is 2023.
Oh, really? Damn, my bad.
Yeah, no, I had no idea this map actually existed until this tournament. I didn't even realize Xarius released maps this late on, but hey, you'd love to see it. And because it's Xarius, it's always going to be a little bit unusual. But to be fair, in terms of flow, Snappy ult, almost fast jumps in the choruses, and these wide-angle hexagon linear taps that pop up every now and again to break up the Snappy aim.
Yeah, you can already see it, can't you? You can already see it, can't you? Some of these aim patterns are just really volatile and really sporadic. This map's also really long. You've got a lot of opportunities here for both these players to build up some really substantial combo to really seal the deal. But so far, only FlyingTuna to drop an early break, but accuracy massively in his favor. ninerik still holding on to his advantage. I think this aim mechanics might be able to help him, but that slider break is not going to help, unfortunately. He is going to go down. And yeah, you can already kind of you can see what the map is about. It's Snappy ult, but these aim patterns are just simply ridiculous. CS 3.5 is kind of an important aspect for this, considering how spaced those ult patterns become. You know, they get so spaced that they're essentially just linear jumps. It's absurd how spaced some of these jumps get. And thankfully for Tuna, that early drop isn't going to punish him too hard. As we get into the next third of the map here, 300 combo in his favor, able to increase his lead by just a little bit. His accuracy definitely also helping him a lot, able to accelerate that score lead just a little bit more. But there's still plenty of time to potentially see a drop here, but ninerik unfortunately will be the one to go down. And that's just going to help Tuna more and more. Even if he drops here, that advantage still looms against ninerik.
See those wide, like, circular, linear patterns. You spend all that time on relatively comfy, snappy aim, and then those linear patterns come out and just slap you in the face. They're causing both players a lot of problems, but I think real consistency on the sharp angle stuff is really paying dividends for FlyingTuna at the moment. A bit more aim consistency, really. That's it. Another linear, and it's another linear that ninerik's missed. FlyingTuna hitting that one is actually pretty huge now.
Yeah, I think what made me think that this map might have been potentially good for ninerik here is that just ridiculous high aim potential, but those linear control sections clearly being a bit too far for him. The rest of the aim does seem to be pretty good for him. It's just those really spaced linears that really rely on that control and that aim discipline that Tuna definitely holds the advantage over. And that is going to be his combo as well. Still holding on. ninerik drops on that difficulty spike section. And Tuna can just push and push. There isn't really much else that he needs to do alongside just holding on for as long as he needs to. Even if he drops, I don't know if ninerik's going to have enough time, let alone be able to hold towards the final ending section. As the break is shown, ninerik knows the spot he's at. He's not only going to have to hope for Tuna to break very, very soon, but he's going to have to hit the entirety of the section. And considering what we've seen previously, I don't know if it's going to be possible. Tuna continues to hold. And we're getting close to the final quarter of the map now. On a very long map, might I add. And ninerik drops once again. This only keeps on spelling a win for FlyingTuna.
Being long enough, I think if ninerik managed to make something happen there, he'd still be within a shot, but FlyingTuna just comboing that entire section, not even opening the door. FlyingTuna really doing well on these linear aim patterns now. He's looking so much more comfortable. Still plenty more to go, but well, there's just no combo on the ninerik side. It's going like a very nice pick again here for FlyingTuna.
Yeah. Simple as, really. A little bit of a slowdown section. Easy building up here for FlyingTuna. I think now the question is on whether or not FlyingTuna can gauge up to that 1000 combo and make it look good. Make it a stylish win. As we start to get into the final section of the map here, it's slowly going to start ramping up and increasing in difficulty as we start to reach that ending spike. Tuna's very close. He's getting there to that 1000 mark, and it does seem like he'll make it. Now, will he be able to hold on to the ending? ninerik drops once again, but in this context, it really does not matter. Tuna just keeps on going and does not stop missing these sections. And the final linear is hit from Tuna. A clean way to finish it off on the map and give himself match point here.
And one miss, but I think a slider break in there. Maybe one or two at most.
Yeah.
All in. That's a very good score from FlyingTuna.
That is a good score.
Very good score from FlyingTuna. And yeah, 1K combo in the end. Yeah, ending it with a flurry. And now, yeah, now he's on match point, 5-1. Looking all roses for FlyingTuna, but ninerik with the next pick, and he's still got some good picks on the board. Quick, no mod 5 speed pick from ninerik.
Yeah, Rumble Kung Fu Showdown, not surprising at all for ninerik to pick into. This one is your 240 raw speed map. Towards the first half of the map, it's a lot more heavy on its aim and its bursts. But as it starts to approach the final ending of the map, it starts to really hit more on the control and the stamina. This first half should be decently even. I am expecting FlyingTuna to be able to keep up. But knowing what he's done on the No Mod 2 there, we might be able to see him perform exceptionally as well on this upcoming ending section on the No Mod 5. I'm excited for this one. I think ninerik is definitely going to be very comfortable with these aim aspects towards the first half. Could lead to a small slip up and could lead to Tuna holding on to a little bit of an advantage. You can kind of see it here. It's a little bit controlly, a little bit speedy, but the stamina, the longer streams really aren't what's around on this map. You're thinking of the last quarter of the map, last third of the map, where it really starts to ramp up, and that's where ninerik's raw speed ability and raw stamina ability is going to really shine the brightest. The question is, in this early stage, can Tuna keep up and potentially ounce on a misplay from ninerik? That's what I'm looking at on this one.
I reckon Tuna's going to be just fine on this one, but yeah, as you get into those later long streams in the second half, against ninerik is going to have a lot of advantage there, you'd think, and a lot of comfort on the tapping. I'm just wondering whether FlyingTuna can keep up until it reaches that point. I suppose we'll see. Here comes the first set of streams. If they're warm, these should be okay, but it's those later ones as the fingers start to tire. At the moment, both players looking really good on these ones.
Yeah, this is solid from both of these players here. ninerik just dropped his full SS, but regardless, accident in his favor. Tuna keeping up marvelously. 99.49 AC. Very impressive, especially after hitting that first slightly stamina-heavy section. And we're going to a little bit of a slowdown here, a little bit of time for these players to adjust back into it and get themselves back into their shape before the break. But it won't be long until we start getting back into it. And both of them still dead even. I'm thinking of this aim section to be really tense here. We might be able to see a break that could potentially end the game for ninerik if he misses. You're really hoping that he holds on, because Tuna still is trailing.
saw secret box destroy the speed.
Oh, no way!
There it is.
No way! He dropped on a slide ahead just after a burst. That's tragic. A small slip up in control. And we said it, man. We said it, Doomsday. That one capacity section, that one part where ninerik isn't really in the driver's seat is what's going to give Tuna a chance where regardless if he drops, he might just win the map regardless. And as we start to get into that stamina heavy section, the first super difficult stream is still hit from Tuna despite the act drops. And this is exceptional from him. He's still going. And look at him hitting all of these bursts towards the end. He finally drops. He finally drops. I don't think there's enough time though. No. I don't think so.
Look at streams here though, but it's surely not enough time.
I mean, look at ninerik excelling on these sections. Look how marvelous his accuracy is. Look at the potential that he had to win this. As the death stream finally comes up, a little bit of a misaim does lead to a bit of a note lock, but it does not matter. Tuna upsetting the speed demon on 2 of his most favored maps and will take the match 6-1. This was definitely an exciting one for me, man. I did not expect these upsets. Very impressive stuff from Tuna.
Yeah, when FlyingTuna's, he's prepped on speed, man. He's capable, and against ninerik, it is no small feat to take all of these faster maps against him, all of these tapping-based maps against him. It's an impressive showing of his versatility, and that's going to bode him well going further into this tournament. He's really going to need that in the later stages, and he's going to be in the winners bracket quarterfinals. So I'm sure we're going to see him in plenty more in Corsace Closed. That's a really good win. ninerik drops down to the losers bracket to continue his campaign, and we'll see where he goes from there.
Well, at least we know now why Tuna banned Hardrock too. Safe to say he was ready. He knew what he was doing. Nicely done here from FlyingTuna. And that definitely gives a bit of a precedent for how well he'll do later on. That qualifier rank 5 in and of itself is very impressive. And does abode potentially a very exciting future for him in this tournament. And that will be it for this match so far. Ladies and gentlemen, the next match to come through will be in an hour and 15 minutes between MCY4 and Chaconi.
Yep.
A matchup that I don't think many of you would want to miss. I think that one's one of the closer ones that I'm looking forward to seeing. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I've been Sad Shiba. I've been joined by the very fabulous Doomsday. And until then, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.